Hey everyone, thank you for joining me for my fragrance of the day, my scent of the day. I'm Veronica. If you're new, welcome. Thank you for joining and please consider subscribing. And if you're returning, hey guys, nice to see you again. My fragrance today is one that, if I am going to be honest, I purchased for two reasons. One is the bottle design. So we're talking about Habanita from Molinard with this really cool 3D relief, almost like a Grecian or Roman vase design. Do you say vase or do you say vase? If I'm trying to be fancy, I say vase, but on most days I just say vase. So the bottle design here is very attractive to me, but I also, the second reason is because when I was looking online, I was actually searching for a perfume that I believe is called just Havana, and it is a vintage perfume. So back in the early 2000s, I had a little tiny mini bottle of a perfume I believe was called Havana. It was little, it was squat, and it was wide, and it had, I believe, a tobacco leaf as a topper, like a clear tobacco leaf. And it was a perfume that I found beautiful, but also way too strong for me at the time. At that point in my life, I was more into light, citrusy, fresh fragrances. And so this one, the Havana one, was really deep, sultry, tobacco-y, spicy, and mysterious. It had that thing going on, like that sensual mysteriousness going on. But I wore it sparingly. Now, I ran through that little tiny bottle and never went back to purchase a full one. I don't even know where to get it. I'm not even sure if that's what it was called. If you are listening and you know what I'm talking about, it has a tobacco leaf top on it. Help me. I'm really in search of that fragrance. Let's talk about that another day. I'm still looking for what I think was that fragrance, and maybe I had the wrong name for it. Maybe it was like tobacco. Maybe it was called tobacco or something like that. Tobacco. I don't know, but I feel like Havana was either somewhere in the name or there was some association with that fragrance and Havana in Cuba. Okay, moving along. Let's talk about Habanita, which I ran across as I was searching for that. And I know I have looked at this before in the past and just didn't purchase it. This is considered an amber fragrance, which I find hard to believe because I don't pick up much amber in this at all. It is the first fragrance by the House of Molinard, originally presented, it's believed, as early as 1921. It's been, of course, reformulated since then. It is described as a mysterious and addictive scent, both classical and modern, for strong and free spirited women. I don't get any of that from this. I don't feel like it's mysterious or addictive, classical or modern. This is a very powdery fragrance to me. In fact, it's known to be a powder bomb, and one of the reviewers on Fragrantica described it as a powder puff mixed with Shalimar. Shalimar, the perfume. At the top, and I'm reading here from Fragrantica. Well, by the way, it says that the composition contains the same, get this, 600 ingredients as the original, only they're distributed in different proportions. I can't for the life of me fathom how this has 600 ingredients. I'm hoping that's a typo and it's really like 60. Where in the world do you get 600 ingredients from to create a perfume? I don't really know, but then again, I am not a perfumer and have no idea what goes into the creation other than the mixing of notes, and that's a very naive understanding of what happens. The new edition here retains the original features, its strength, sensuality, poetry, richness, and oriental notes. At the top, it has mastic, which I had to look up what that is. It's a resin from trees, I believe, that creates from a shrub. It's a resin from a shrub that creates a smell similar to pine, cedar, or olibanum. So it has mastic at the top, petitgrain, and geranium. In the heart, there's ylang ylang, heliotrope, vetiver, jasmine, mimosa, rose, and nutmeg. And in the thumbnail, you see that I put nutmeg, ylang-ylang, and heliotrope because those are some of the notes that stand out to me along with the powderiness of this. And in the base, it's got musk, amber, patchouli, sandalwood, oak moss, and vanilla. A lot of notes going on here. Going on, it says that the bottle here was created by René Lalique, or it's an interpretation of the original creation by René Lalique, retains the black color and the elegance of the 20s, giving it contemporary rock and roll flair. Do you get rock and roll from this? I do not. I have nothing about this except maybe the cap. Even kind of sort of comes close to anything reminiscent of like a rock and roll aesthetic. So I find that to be a curious description. So many notes in here. This definitely opens super powdery. There is something in the background that I'm not super duper fond of, but I only smell that, to be fair, if I stick my nose in it. Like if I bring my nose really close to my skin. In the air, it smells very baby powdery with some sweetness to it, some nut to it. It's almost like like a flat almond note that I get in the air. What else do I get? And I get that heliotrope, definitely a soft round heliotrope in it. So one of the reviewers says that this is reminiscent to that person of Tabac Blonde by Karen, the House of Karen, and feels that the leather and tobacco is very prominent. The person believes that it's a sexy scent. I don't consider this sexy at all. I consider it pleasant and powdery. And she says that I believe, says that it's sweet, sensual musk for hours. And another person says that it just smells like Parma violet sweets, which I think, isn't that what people say Insolence by Guerlain smells like, the Parma violet sweets? I'm not sure, but it does give you that sort of vibe. The florals in here are round, but on the colder side, not warm. I don't consider this a spicy scent, even though there are some spicy. One of the accords is spicy or something close to that. I don't know. This is a really interesting fragrance. It's powdery and it's floral and it has a nuttiness to it, is how I can describe it. I don't get all of the rest that people are describing, and I've had it on my skin for a few hours now, so it's certainly had a chance to get into the heart and maybe even into the dry down or the base notes. Do I like this? Yes. Do I love this? No. Would I repurchase this if I ran out? No. Would I keep the bottle on my shelf? Yes. I really, really like this bottle a lot. And it's one that I should probably consider layering. Like, in fact, I might think about layering it with Jope, not Jupe. What am I talking about? Jope Laban. And I don't know what else. Maybe even like a Bottega Veneta to bring out some of the leather. I don't know what else. I have to think about that. Maybe something like Girl of Now to amp up what to me is the nut accord that I get in this and the sweetness that could be in this, that other people get in this. I haven't really tried, so I can't comment on that, but it's one that deserves some layering exploration. It's certainly nice and pleasant on its own. I think I will enjoy wearing it today. And I think it's one that I enjoy not sticking my nose into, but just letting it waft up into the air around me in its powdery goodness. So it's a yes, to be clear. It's a yes for me. It's not like a love, and it's not going to be moving into my top 10. I love it for what it is, a really old fragrance from the 20s that has survived into modern day here. And I love the bottle, and I do like the powderiness of it. There's just something in it when I stick my nose in it that doesn't agree with me. It's the same thing. Maybe it's like this plasticky kind of thing going on that I get from like Lulu from Cacheral. I had to give that one away to a friend, which I did like. I like Lulu a lot. I just had trouble wearing it because there was something in it that just didn't mesh with me. It like wasn't my vibe, if that makes sense. So that's Habanita. It's a yes. I like it. Let's be clear. Just not a love, and one that there's something in it that I just have a little bit of a hard time with. But boy, this bottle is so cool. And the powderiness in this is, to me, if you like powder, this is a great choice. All right, guys, that's my scent of the day. I know this was a long one. Thanks for hanging with me. Have a great time.